Oatmeal for the rest of our lives. Start a family business.
That would suck.
I always told myself I'd never work in a sawmill ever again.
Oh, Daddy, growing up, Daddy worked in one.
Yeah.
And he said, you work in a sawmill? He says, it's a hard job.
It is. I just wish they'd hurry up and get my new machine in. Because they're making me lead operator of that machine. But the machine we have is a piece of shit. And they're supposed to bring in another one, and it's supposed to have been here at the beginning of this month, but no.
That's the way it always goes, isn't it?
Every damn time.
I can hear Anise. I hear him playing his day.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
You hear her all over there too.
Yeah, I start saying I can hear her. That's odd.
I'll be here.
Make a cockatoo sound.
I don't know what a cockatoo sounds like, honestly.
I don't either.
They just do
Okie dokie. Yeah, that's right. List of questions. That way I don't forget one.
That's fine. I think I know the answers to some of them.
You sure?
No.
Because I don't even know the answers to half the questions I even write down anymore.
I understand that. I'll have intentions on the...
Yeah. Somebody asks you questions like, so how'd you come up with this idea?
It's like you asked me what that one character was in my book, and I was like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to look at my notes.
Yeah. So what character now? Like, I like it when if someone come up to me and say, they'll tell me a part in the book, like a scene, they're like, oh, I loved it, and I'm like, when did I write that?
Yeah, that's me. And I don't even have that many under me like you do.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Thank God this next one won't have so many. Alright. You ready to do this?
Hey, you're backing up if you're waiting on me. I have no idea.
Oh, get it all ready. Alright.
You popped your elbows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other day while I was at work, this elbow smacked one of the boards.
Mm-hmm.
My whole hand went like this for a good 3 minutes. It fucking hurt.
I bet it did. It hurt me hearing them pop just then.
If I'm at work, I can't get them to pop because I'm moving so much.
So much.
So when I get here, I'm like, pop. Okay. Welcome back to Creators Dementia, and I have a very special guest with me today, in-person interview with the author that wrote The Broken Dagger, Lucifer's Contract, Alan Graves. Alan, say hi to the handful of people that actually listen to me.
Hello, handful of people. Bradley fans.
I don't think they know my name.
Oh. Creator Dementia fan.
So, this is the actual first person interview I've ever done. I've done it on computer, and some of you have watched it. It's been okay, not been that great. And now that I got this new setup, I can bring people here, and this is the first one, and I wanted to wait for the first one to be Alan because he is one of my greatest friends. Tell them exactly the first time we actually ever hung out.
I think it was when we was working out together at time.
Was it working out or was it the Christmas parade?
Maybe in the Christmas. I think it may have been a Christmas parade this time. Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was the first time we actually ever had a conversation.
What a way to start it in a parade like that.
Because, I can't remember. Did you send me a message or did you ask me at 5-star?
I asked you at 5-star.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah, because I was posting pictures of my Star-Lord helmet and all that fun shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all coming back.
Yeah. And how many years ago was that?
I don't know.
3 or 4. Yeah.
3 or 4, somewhere in between.
So, bromance completely infused with one due to cosplay.
Cosplay.
Yes, of Deadpool and Star-Lord. And now got Deadpool and Spider-Man. And I've got Captain America, Star-Lord, Thor, Batman, Reaper.
You got the whole Avengers team.
I don't know if I can pull off Scarlet Witch. I don't have the cleavage for it.
Just push up.
Just push up.
Just a push
I mean,
up.
I do have duct tape. I could do it.
Yeah.
Like,
Put duct tape in a push up.
duct tape in, like the ice cream or the bra.
The bra. little wax. Smooth that stuff out.
I mean, I do like the push-up popsicles.
If they work the same.
Yeah. It'll perk me up. Anyways, yes, we are here today to discuss Alan's book that I can't even remember. I know it was released last year.
It's last year.
Uh,
I think it's during the fall. Can't remember exactly.
September 18th, is that right?
I guess so. Yep.
Sweet. Yes, September 18th of 2022. And this novella here is just absolutely amazing. We went through, Alan came up with the good concept of the story and wrote it, and I edited it a little bit, but the whole entire arc is all him, and it needs to be advertised as much as possible. So, this is the book. Cameraman, zoom in. I'll do that during editing. And
He's the best kind of cameraman.
that's right. My imaginary friend Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Hello. But yes, Alan, tell the people about the Broken Dagger, Lucifer's Contract.
Oh, well. It's like we was talking about earlier. You asked, somebody will come up and ask you where you got the concept from it, or a certain scene in a book, or a certain character, and you're like, let me think about that for a moment. The inspiration came from actually Bradley's, or your book.
They didn't know my name, I was just kidding.
Oh, okay. from your Legion Dawn stuff.
Yeah.
It's based in your universe there. The Sebastian character, which is the main character of this, is, how did we come up with that? You'd asked me about creating one or something.
Yes. Because you was creating the fiery sword for cosplay, and
That's
then
it.
you came up with the name Sebastian. You said he was the demon hunter.
Yeah, okay, that's
And
where,
then I asked you if I could put him in Legion's Dawn.
that's where it came from.
Yeah. And I was like, I need that character for this story.
And it all stems, as far as my character does, the concept of it, from cosplay. Just basically TikTok cosplay.
That's
what it
where
was.
Reaper came from.
Yeah. But that's just where it stems from.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not sure of who he is. He knows he has a duty to perform, but as he's growing and starting to mature, I guess, in his demon hunting, his bounty hunter work,
Yeah.
he starts noticing some inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Again, my Southern Kentucky language
Ah.
about who he is, where he comes from.
Let's go down to the holler.
Oh, way down in the holler. Yeah.
From the South Pole.
It's actually down on the elbow, at the bend of the river.
Oh, poor Sebastian. So Sebastian was actually one of my favorite characters to develop in Legion's Dawn because his backstory is so complex, it's ridiculous. And when I was writing Legion's Dawn, of course I was always asking Alan, how would Sebastian react to this? Where do you think his actual prominent behavior would come from? What's his personality like? Like everything that I put towards Sebastian in Legion's Dawn is all him. All of it. And then when, as I was writing Legion's Dawn, Alan was writing The Broken Dagger, Lucifer's Contract, which is about Sebastian and kind of like an origin story, so to speak. It's not his complete beginning, but it is a beginning of how he is and who he's come to be. And a very awesome part about, I'm about to burp, excuse me, about Lucifer's Contract is Alan actually incorporated, besides Lucifer and Abaddon from Legion's Dawn and Locke, he brought in Evelyn, which is the witch that I created for Legion's Dawn, which is another complex character that,
Very.
I mean, when I was writing her, it was, I didn't know where I was going to take her. Then it finally come out, because that's what me and Alan did. We discussed the characters every time we tried to develop them, and then he just brought Sebastian, like gave him such definition in Lucifer's Contract. It just made Sebastian more lovable. So it's just remarkable. There's no other word to say it.
No, and just like you said, just creating the characters, and what made it so easy. Well, easy as far as making them work together is that we talked about it so much. I mean, it just, before I would change something with Evelyn, I'd talk to Bradley. Would this person do this?
Yeah.
And how would they react to a situation like this right here? And it meshed so well together.
Yes.
I mean,
and one really awesome part is toward the end of this book, Reaper makes an appearance. It's a small one, but he makes an appearance, which made my day more just, it was gone. So we just talked about Sebastian, and kind of talked about Lucifer's Contract. What is the premise of Lucifer's Contract? Like, what's the, besides it being only about Sebastian, what is the actual, I guess, synopsis for the book?
That's a good question. I mean, I fought with that the entire time, from the concept of him is like, how could I get his personality and what his goal or who he is, the synopsis of this book, all together at once. Basically, it just, he thinks he has a clear point of his job as the reason he's going from A to B all the time. Then he has a vision, and it's called into question. And even though it's a small part of it, it just opens up a whole new world to him about who he is. Well, I better say it like this, who he may be, and where he may be going, into the characters that's already around him, how they've been trying to influence him, and how he can step out of that mold and into his own. So, I guess that's the correct synopsis.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, and not only did Alan write this book, but his daughter created the cover, and so the cover works so well with the book because of the timeline in which the book actually takes place is during the Salem witch trials, and it brings a whole new concept to why all that happened in Salem, Massachusetts. So if you are a big Salem witch trials fan, you need to read this story concept, because it actually makes a lot of sense on how things I was gonna say perspire, but I'm pretty sure is perspire like sweat?
I guess during that time we did do that. But
how it all took place.
Yeah.
I'll say it that way. But yes, transpired. That's the word I was looking for. But yes, Salem witch trials, and and also another character that makes an appearance, which I'm not going to say, no, but is another character that made an appearance in Legion's Dawn as well, and he is the main villain of this book, and it's not Lucifer. So get them both.
Yeah, they help each other greatly.
Yes.
It's like you were saying, this is based in the Salem witch trials, and you put your own spin to it, but I thought it would be a nice way, like you said, to keep most of it true. The names in it, as far as who's influenced about the sub characters in it, is true to the Salem witch trials, and it sort of helps put my own spin on, like you said, how it transpired and how it just something small just gets blown up and it just affects so many people and the world and still today.
Yeah.
So.
And what actually just dawned on me is not only is the book classified as like a suspenseful supernatural thriller, but with it dealing with the Salem witch trials, it actually could be considered historical fiction as well.
Yeah, it could have.
I did not notice that until just now. So many genres are in this book. So now we're going to get down to who Alan actually is. So before I get to my actual list of questions, go ahead and tell them what's your occupation and all that fun stuff.
Oh. Well, course, I work as a respiratory therapist. I've done that since I think '98.
I was gonna say it was before Y2K.
Yeah, if that says anything, and a lot of you are going to say, "What's Y2K?" It's all COVID now.
I know Y2K. I was alive.
You're just a puppy.
Well, I was 11.
If that says anything about our age difference already, yeah, a big jump. But no, I've been in the medical field most of my life. Of course, like we was talking about, just started off, as he said, in the holler here in South Central Kentucky, down on the river, and just and we heard a lot of banjo down on the corner.
Did.
Believe it or not, when we have Sunday meetings, or not Sunday meetings, but church meetings would come out on Wednesday night, and my grandparents would get out little banjos. And they would, I don't know if I'm calling them banjos or nothing. My daughter's playing, I won't speak off camera. What's Aubrey playing? It looked like
mandolin.
a mandolin.
Okay, yeah.
And Uncle Reggie.
No, ukulele.
Ukulele. That's it.
They're almost the same thing.
It was as backwater. Now that I look at it now, it is as backwater as you can think. You know, if you think, well, they live in Kentucky but grew up on the river. What'd you do for church on Wednesday night? We played the banjo.
We played the banjo and the ukulele.
In the ukulele.
And drank moonshine.
Yep. Behind the wood stove.
That's right. I hate wood stoves.
But
They gave me bad asthma attacks when I was a kid.
Oh, I understand.
I could not do it.
We used to burn. My great grandma used to burn oranges on it.
Oh, that's awesome
So it smelled good, but
though.
it just masking what's going to happen
Yeah.
later at night.
Yeah, because they always said, if you had a wood stove and you have a family member in your house that has asthma, you're supposed to put like a pot of water on that stove to boil it, and that steam would help with the asthma. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with a wood stove that much unless I stayed at my uncle's house.
Oh, we grew up. If it says anything to where we grew up at, like I said, down the center point in the elbow.
Yeah.
We just lived in a small house. I mean, you could probably. Mom and Daddy was wrestling one time and they fell into the wall just playing, and you could, and it pushed the outer part of the wall. I mean, you from the outside you could see a bow in it.
Yeah.
But during winter, like me and my dad would take their little BB guns, and we had a wood stove in the middle of our living room. And when the mice would come out, we'd shoot the mice and we'd lay them up like we're hunters in front of the stove in a little wood pad right there.
Let this be a warning to any mouse that comes in this house.
I'm a respiratory therapist and a mouse hunter, cosplayer, and a prospective author.
And a blacksmith.
Well, that's all the work you can tell by looking at my hands.
He's also a blacksmith.
So,
Yes.
But
We're going to need him during the zombie apocalypse anyways.
yeah,
Forge some weapons at a trading post.
I mean, if somebody can grow tomatoes and we can make knives, we're good.
Yep. Johnny?
I can't grow.
But
Well, you can keep us all healthy.
I'll try.
That's his wife, by the way. That's okay.
yeah, she's off camera. That's why I keep turning
It's
and
not
looking.
very
She's over there drinking some tequila. No, I'm just playing.
It's whiskey.
It's whiskey. Peachy King Monster whiskey. Alright, so we'll get to a list of questions now. Try not to sound like a list of questions.
I start saying, as you can tell, that's one thing with working with, or not working with Bradley, but talking to Bradley over these characters, books, and cosplays, is at his last job, when I would stop just to ask him something, it'd turn from a question to like way out in the left field.
A full-blown story arc.
I mean, I'd have to call and say, I've been talking to Bradley, and Joni would understand.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Ever since I left 5 Star, we haven't conversed as much. Because usually, you'd stop in
Just
after work and we'd talk for a minute, but ever since I left there, it's trying to catch each other with text messages.
And I'm terrible with text messages. I don't edit. That's why I had him to edit this book.
Editing is fun.
Oh Lord, that's a whole new different beast right there.
No, editing sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Ugh.
And this is a small book compared to his Legion Gone.
Editing is as bad as advertising and marketing. It's just a black hole of something that I don't understand but try to do.
Yeah.
It's horrible. But don't let that persuade you to not try writing. So we'll go with question number 1, which is, at what point did you decide to be a writer?
I don't think there was ever that point.
there was no boop.
No, there was never no light that turned on. It's like me and Bradley talked, and it stemmed from me making that sword that you could light on fire. Then it just stemmed from the character, and when he said he was wanting to use Sebastian like that, it's like, this would be a good story arc, But I don't think there was a, like you said, like a light bulb that popped on, because it's still hard to believe I've got this. I mean, as small as it is and as simple as it is.
I mean, even though it is a novella, it's still, I love how it looks.
Yeah, it's a car ride novella.
Yes.
That is what I wanted for it.
And when I was helping format it, because I just finally figured, because if any of you have bought Zed's Wayward Son, you can tell formatting was not my thing, because that book is like this freaking wide and that freaking tall. But I was just so happy that I figured out how to number pages, because Zed's Wayward Son does not have that. So I got to at least help him out with that part.
Yeah. I had no clue.
Yeah, no, it's because that's another thing, formatting. Nope, not fun. So, who is your biggest influence?
Well, if I wanted to say who my biggest influence was and do the husband type of thing, I'd say Joni's my biggest influence for writing. So,
Let's be proper on
but
camera.
let's be proper on camera on that. We'll say Joni was number 1. All jokes aside, who really influenced me to do this was him here. Because when I get stuck and I talk to him, he'd say, well, this is what worked for me. And it was good to have somebody that was sort of on the same, we're never on the same page until we start talking.
Yeah.
Then it meshes, then our ideals just
Yes, they flourish.
And that's what, I guess this guy here, you was probably my biggest influence for this book. And the rest, I've got like 1 or 2 that I'm toying with.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
See that? I'm an influencer. Pay me.
Pay him. Pay this
Jeez,
guy.
I'm broke all the time. But no, it was. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna make a badge now. I'm gonna put that on my shirt. Alan's influence.
How about Alan's influencer? That's like, what is that? Is that like Girl Scouts?
I'm like, yes, we sell cookies.
Cookies and knowledge.
Cookies and knowledge. I'm gonna put that on all my job applications now too. They'll be like, so what's your biggest accomplishment? Influencing. Maybe I'll get hired elsewhere. I don't. So, even though Sebastian was your big creation, which of the character action best describes you from your book? And it can be Sebastian.
I got asked that before, and what's fun, I don't know how it is with other authors, or it may just be where I'm new. When I'm writing these characters, I don't see their faces. And, it's just like, I can't, if you ask me what Sebastian looked like in the face, just because I did some TikToks with that character in mind, I would say, my persona.
I
That's
remember
what's
the
my
veins. That was cool.
Yeah. That was pretty neat. I forgot about that one. But that's the way I would perceive it. But as far as the concept of Sebastian, it's the way I feel. With him going through these, what I've got planned for him next is that you're always a work in progress. I mean, you're never done.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always seeing new things, always able to, even though you may feel like you're regressing, there's always possibility for progression.
Yeah.
And that's where I believe that's where I'm having in common.
Yeah.
But being a demon hunter and stuff like that, no.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool, but
Yeah, I mean, we could become that.
yeah, when I'm at home in the basement and Joni's asleep,
Yeah.
I get over there and ducking under the clothes and I'm like,
I will find you.
and she'll ask, where you going?
Yeah.
I'm going to the bathroom.
He channels his inner Liam Neeson. I don't know who you are, but I will find you.
But yeah, as far as that, yeah, I would say Sebastian. Just as far as the concept
Yeah.
of going from the beginning to where he ends up at.
Yeah.
As far as my short stories with him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and Sebastian has one hell of a journey.
oh yeah,
Like, holy shit.
it's going to be interesting. That's, you know, you want to pretend you know where it's going,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but there's so many just. If I take it there, it's not going to mesh. But then you're like, oh wow, that will work.
Yeah.
There's just that. But yeah, it's a complicated story, and I'm hoping we're able to. And I say we because I have to bounce so much information off of Bradley just to make sure it is within the realms of this work, this universe that's been created.
And this is a big ass universe.
Oh yeah, just look at his new book.
Like, crap. The way I ended Legion's Dawn, everybody, almost all of them just kind of scattered in different places. And so the second one's not going to have everybody in it, but I do plan on actually having, spoiler alert, Sebastian make a special appearance at some point. And what was the name of the character that he... no spoilers, never mind. There's another character that pops up. But anyways, so what's your writing plans for the future? I know you kind of touched base with it, saying, you know, you got like 2 other books kind of like in the working,
Yeah.
but...
Well, I had the concept for this one, for the next one, as far as a name or anything like that. No, other than it's the Broken Dagger series, which my goal is to have 3 books with Sebastian. Hopefully by the end of it, I'd planned on trying to have it to link up with your first book. You know, bring him into the present, because you carry him so well the rest of the way, and instead of me trying to encroach on that and find disparities between our books, it'd just be easier to bring him up to that point.
Okay.
But as far as that, just trying to flesh out him and this little side quest that he's on to discover who he is, where he's come from, and to help kind of guide him into, can't say too much because it'd give away on what Bradley's done with his world.
I mean, y'all should have read it by now. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's both of them's great, and just reading his has really helped me develop mine. Then I've got one that's written now. I would say it's 95% done. I don't even know how you would classify it. I mean, it's just I'm gonna have to have somebody look at it and say, this is the type of the thing. Is it? It's just a short story, and then I'm wanting to finish it. I can't decide whether it's going to be whether it's going to be something supernatural, or whether it's kind of a faith type of book, like somebody coming into their faith. I've not made up my mind. I'm at that point, and I'm sure anybody that's ever written to say that too. You know, you get to a point and you just like, I'm not sure, so you just put it on the back burner. But it's yeah.
I do that with all my shit.
Like I said, these ideals, you know, you have them and you toss them up, and they're like,
Yes. This
Which
one
one
I'll
do
do
I
today.
Yeah.
This one I'll start in 2 months.
Yeah. Then you'll say, what was I going to start today?
Yeah. And then you'll get to that point in this one, you're like, okay, where do I go from here? A couple days will pass by, you don't touch it, and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to pull the one I was going to start 2 months from now. I'm going to go ahead and get it going.
Yeah. And another thing you'll notice when you're watching this, look how good these beards look.
I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
Mine used to be longer.
Another age difference. I got 2 little white stripes right here.
Dude, I pulled 5 gray hairs out of my beard last week.
Spoiled.
Well, they were longer than my actual beard, though. That's the bad part. Like, I'm going bald, going gray, and fat. Damn it.
Nice job, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the wife won't let me shave my head. So, and I think if I could shave my head, I think I would pull off a pretty damn good God of War cosplay.
Oh my God! If I was, oh my goodness! Here's it. If I was shaving my head, have you ever seen a bowling ball?
Yes.
You see the 3 holes that's in the top? That's gonna be my eyes and my mouth, and the rest is gonna look like you took a hammer and just hacked on it. So, It's gonna be it's water together up there.
So you'll have the military flat top.
Yeah, a flesh top. That sounds so bad.
It'll work though.
Yeah. I get sidetracked. I'm sorry.
So this is a question that a lot of people have different opinions about. But what was your biggest difficulty when writing?
Wow. I'm pretty good about getting my beginning. Once I really invest into it with Legion's or Lucifer contract here, I was really good because I knew where to start, then I knew where to end it. But then I'd write here, then I'd write here, then I'm like, oh, it needs this somewhere. So I'd write here.
Yep.
Then I'd get, and on my laptop, which it's an old laptop, I think it's a Chromebook. And you'd open it up, and Aubrey and Avery and them, my daughters, had mentioned it. I'd have so many little tabs, and they wouldn't be labeled. It'd be document 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'd have to go through and I'd have to read and like, oh, okay. That's it. It just being focused on that one moment and fleshing it out versus, well, this would work because it would pull my attention from here. Then when I would go back to it, I'd be lost.
Yeah.
But when I first started, the number one thing, I thought I'd be old school and I'd write everything down. I wrote like, it was a lot. I probably wrote like 3 chapters in a notebook.
Yep.
The fault in that is you have to take all that and type it into the computer. And I'd get so frustrated, and that actually slowed me down a whole lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just staying focused on the topic at hand, you know, right there, and not just getting too way out there. That way you lose track and you let what you're working on suffer.
Yeah.
Because with me, if I get too sidetracked or if I get too much going on, something's going to suffer from it.
Yeah.
But
that's how I start off all my stories. Is I start in a notebook. I'll be like, I got a good idea for a story. I'll go to Walmart, I'll buy a 97-cent notebook, and I'll write it. And then it'll disappear for 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, oh, I need to type this up. And then another 3-4 weeks will pass.
Yeah, see, if I can write down my ideals in a notebook, that works.
Yeah.
But not the entire novella.
Yeah.
Because it's all going to be transferred. And I tried even doing the dictating part. It shows how far behind I am. I found that little button on there that says dictate. It's like, oh, yeah. Of course, you can probably tell by the way I'm talking now. It's actually better than it was. But I get some funky words that popped up there, and 90% of them was red when it popped up there. And I'd have to go through, and I tried to get Joni to go through, and that was a frustrating part.
Yeah.
But editing was hard.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
I had a lot. What was it? Ands. He was
and run on sentences. Yeah.
When he was editing it, helping me edit, we was sitting there. And it got pretty common. It's
great. I love
comma.
it.
Yeah. Comma.
Capitalized. Comma.
Capitalized. Then
Yes.
you'd see him stop, and you'd see you hear click, good. I said, comma. Yeah, comma.
Yeah, comma.
Because it was just, of course, in your head, I can see, like when you're writing a fight scene, that's the funnest. Everybody has the fun part. But you get so carried away, you're typing, you're seeing it, you're typing it, you're seeing it, you're typing it. Then you look down and you got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L.
Yeah.
And you're like, where'd that fight scene go? And Bradley comes in, he says, comma. And you're like, oh, there it is. But yeah, it was.
Like we said before, editing sucks, but editing this was fantastic because it was stuff I've not encountered before.
Commas.
What's
your story about commas?
Commas, yes. Proper punctuation of the English language.
Oh, there was a time or two I thought was frustrating at first. Then I was getting tickled more. We had a sentence 2 or 3 different times, a sentence. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. And he'd go, and Joni even mentioned it a couple of times. What do you mean here?
Yeah.
I said,
Oh, damn
and
it.
of course I wouldn't say nothing. I'm like, reading it. Is that a trick question? Because I see it right there.
Yeah.
Then they would swap around a word, or just take the tail end and swap the sentence around.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. That's.
So-
Why would you ask? You
but,
say it.
Yeah, I mean, but if it wasn't for them editing it, it'd be a whole different type of story. It'd be harder to read. It would be.
Kind of like my first book. Yeah. No edits.
No, it was good. It was good. Yeah, of course, Zed Rising. Of course, he's talking about this. I'll talk about Zed Rising, and you can tell, and you could probably even mention it in mine too, that about halfway through it, he hits a stride, and it just starts clicking.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. Nothing wrong with the first part. I'm not saying that.
First part sucked ass so bad.
It was terrible. We was in Toppensville for a freaking eternity. Oh my god. But
Yeah. Finally made the cyclone over there.
but no, that's just down the road.
Yeah.
But no, I mean we just hit our strides, and I think that's what
Yeah.
this is all about too. But you could just tell that you hit a click, and it was like all the flow is going good now. And I don't know whether you realized it when you was writing it, or if it was just something that happened because you was growing in it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I really don't know. Boy, that book came out, 8 years ago?
yeah, I think so.
God.
And it's a really good foundation book.
Yeah,
it's
just-
really good.
It needs a revamp. It needs a second edition. I've been talking about that for a year.
Yeah. When them fat burners,
Yeah, it's
starry
this
eyes.
idea. Going over there for 3 months.
Having them starry eyes just pop up.
Yeah. So much. Yeah, so much needs to go into that again. So, what do you actually hope to get out of writing?
I actually read over these like twice.
Yeah.
And you can actually, I mean, I'm bad for, even when we do Sunday school or something like that, is I'll read over my stuff. And if I think I've got a just understanding of it, because I feel like it's more honest than the verses just sitting here reading it. For me, right now, the answer and stuff. What I want to get out of writing, honestly, is I hope somebody just reads it.
Yeah.
Just enjoys a little bit of the creativity that's been put into it. Do I believe I'll ever make a fortune off of this? No, that's not why I'm doing it. I thought it was interesting, and just building from his world, that's what it stemmed from. And that's basically it. Just hoping somebody enjoys a creation of mine.
Yeah.
As far-fetched as it is. But just hoping somebody just takes the time to enjoy it, and it gives them just a moment. Because it is a short read, it's not a long read, and it's not a hard read. But just a moment just to separate, just disappear into a world, let their imagination carry them, and let them just imagine the characters we create. I say we because this is a mutual work, and just enjoy it for a moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. At least you're not making the same mistake I did when I first started. I was like, I'm gonna get rich. People gonna love this. It's a published book in Tompkinsville. No one does that. A couple people already have. So, yeah. No one cared.
And when it's like this one, it's like, I bought this one. Me. But and like I said, if I thought I was going to if I was focused on the money aspect of it, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I mean, I just hope somebody enjoys it. It's like this book cover. I am so proud of it.
Like, oh my God.
Because I take zero credit for the book cover,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
she did an astounding amount of work on it. Just making it pop out, come to life.
Yeah.
But
when I first seen that picture of that cover, it took me back because I was like, holy shit.
I mean, it just personifies what's going to happen in the
Yes.
story.
Yes, and the tree is pivotal.
Yeah, it is.
That's a thing in the book.
See, I have no idea where that concept came from me using a tree to get that. I mean, it just something come out, and it was like the center place.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, I guess when you're reading a book, one thing I do want you to look at is the colors that's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
From their eyes to the witch's orb
Yeah.
to the color of the leaves on the tree. And even the protagonist that's in it, even the way he's set up, the color of his hair, his eyes, everything signifies something. Fall is the end of the year. Things start dying out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a new, and that's sort of where it kicks off at.
Yeah.
That's the basis of the tree. It's a way of saying, this tree's come to the end of its season, the end of its life.
Yeah.
For this stuff.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, because I made this, I made the same mistake. Anytime we was using colors, we'd use the same color.
Yeah.
Over and over
I
again.
noticed that too.
Like if we was talking about something that was velvet, it'd be like the velvet beam, and then like a sentence later, the velvet light, and a sentence later, the velvet aura. It's like, we need to we need to find something else that's velvet.
Pull back that softness.
Yes. Yeah, because my editor told me the same thing. She's like, you need to figure out another color or another scheme of sorts, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. No.
I noticed that too. When we was editing it, you'd say that, and I was like, it is a lot.
Yeah. It's like when I was describing Evelyn during the first draft of Legion's Dawn, it was her colors is velvet, and I constantly used velvet over and over again. And Jay, my editor, she was like, "You need something else." I did 2 hours worth of research on a different color.
And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about how these books go together. I would say over 90% of the characters in this book is from him. I would say that. I mean, with the exception, Sebastian.
Sebastian's all him.
It's all been modified. The little things that come up outside of the main characters, I guess, or the sub-main characters, are his. And I would go, how does this person look? How does this person look? How would they carry? How would their clothes look? And stuff like that. But
and a bunch of them I found on Pinterest.
Yeah, and he'd send me a picture of them. And I was like, oh, okay. Can I do this with this? It's what the modifications I done to it was just like the color of the orb, because I needed to imitate what Sebastian would find later in the book that dealt with furthering the story on towards the end. So
Color concepts.
we get sidetracked, don't we?
Oh, it'll be all right. That's what makes great TV. So, so who? You don't have to say me. It's okay. But who is your favorite author?
Oh well, that would be. I don't know if y'all read a book called Wayward Sons.
Shit.
It's really good, Terry.
He's on the cover of it.
Oh yeah, we are.
Him, his wife, and his daughter.
$2 of the dollars.
Well, the other one's on the Kindle.
Oh yeah.
cover. Yeah.
We kept the favorite one. No, I'm just joking. No, I'm just joking. No, it's like I said before. Bradley's one of my favorite authors.
I'm like number 20.
David Morrell.
Oh, yep.
David Morrell.
Yep.
That you're going to see when I tell you my next author, my top favorite author.
Did he write Wicked?
I'm not sure. Yes, he did.
Okay, I know exactly who you're talking about. He advertises all the time. Yes.
I started reading David Morrell back in the early or mid to late 90s. He did a trilogy called Brotherhood of the Rose. It's a spy trilogy, that series of books got me to reading more. I used to read it. My first job was to move to Bowling Green. I think I've read it like 4 times. To me, it was a good book at the time. But my top one, is Nora Roberts. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, she has different styles of writing. She has her love stories.
Yeah.
which they are good. I've read a trilogy of them before, but what I like about her books most is this last one I read. It's called Year One, and it's a trilogy, and it is talking about there is a small arc in it for love, which it's not the main synopsis, but it's like a dystopia future where people that can do magic has been found out into the world, and the world goes into a collapse. But her books, her novels they have character growth, they have magic, they have something that's just above normal, superstition.
I might have to read that.
It is really good, but I would say David Morrell was the initial author, but Nora Roberts is top, and she's got. And usually with her newer ones, she writes in trilogies. So after you're done with the first book, you're like, well, that's just not it. So we can read some more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good.
It's called Year One.
Year One.
Yeah, I might have to find that.
And it's a really good character growth, and she does such a good job of pulling characters in without it getting muddled up or too much detailed and losing that person or the persons they're with.
Yeah.
But I guess a supernatural author I like, she writes a lot of teen fiction, is Julie Kawaga.
Don't know that one.
It's a good one. She wrote a trilogy of the Immortal Rules, and what it talks about is vampires being rampant in the world, and the vampires have control over the cities. But what happens is, company makes this stuff called the Red Plague that's supposed to cure vampires. But when they release it, what it does, it gives them like a STD.
Well, I'll be damned. Chlamydia.
But there's no other way of saying the vampire STD. But what they do is when they bite a fledgling, when it's become a vampire, there's a 50-50 chance that it's going to turn into like a demon creature that just scampers and just has no thinking whatsoever.
Gonorrhea.
Vampire gonorrhea.
Twilight. Yes. Thank you. I hate Twilight.
Oh, I like the book. I like the movies.
I hate the movies so fucking well. Yo. I've talked about Twilight a couple of times on here. No.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing. Have you read the book?
No, but
See?
well, see, I've heard great things about the books. And I wouldn't mind actually attempting to read the book. I've got to actually have a couple that I got at the library for like 50 cents back there. I got Breaking Dawn and another one.
The books are so much better than the movie. My opinion.
I say if they didn't have Kristen Stewart, it probably would have been a better movie.
She's not in the book.
It's
your version of it.
Yeah. I mean, every time you watch one of the movies, it's just a constant. That's all she does.
Then yeah, I do agree with you. After that face, like Rayla says, she's.
Yeah. The gosh damn love triangles.
What else from a werewolf and a vampire?
Yeah, Jacob should have just ripped his head off and then.
That is something I have no anticipation of doing in my books.
No, I will never do a love triangle. That ruins everything. Everything.
So you see it everywhere.
It's a trope that I wish would just vanish forever. God. I mean, not on. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're not getting into that. Holy shit.
That's a whole new podcast.
It is. I mean, Jacob's a freaking pedophile in it anyway, so I'm gonna make a mark on that baby. She's mine now. Boy, go on somewhere.
He does get all sweaty when he
He really does. They should just call the Winchesters in and killed them all off. I mean, unalived, all of them. My bad. I'm going to have to edit that K word out.
I don't like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cancel culture. Anyways, off of Twilight.
Back on point. Right?
Back on point. How many books do you hope to have written in your lifetime?
Oh, I have no idea.
Me either.
I mean, it just Or just wherever it goes.
Yeah.
I guess I've got 1.5.
I was say, I mean, at least you have one. That's a
Yeah.
start. I was listening to, I can't remember what it was. It was a little, I think, Facebook reel with Stephen King, and he said that, because they asked him, how do you produce so many books in a year? He says, no matter what, every day he'll at least write 6 pages. That's how he can get a book out in 3 months.
But
Yeah.
as being consistent for something.
Yeah. But I mean, he's also a full-time author and doesn't have to have a real job.
Exactly. That's all he is. It's just-
Yes.
So, wow.
I can't do that.
There's no telling what I'd be writing in.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I mean,
I walked outside and let the dogs out to play.
yeah, be doing some more love triangles. No.
That would be it. The love triangles between the 3 dogs.
Between the 3 dogs.
The
you gotta
mama
show
dog
them.
and the 2 son dogs.
Yeah. Norman Bates style. Yeah. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So, what advice, this is a very important question. I ask anyone that I've ever done an interview with, what advice would you give to aspiring writers who are just starting out?
Find somebody you can bounce your ideals off of. Somebody that's already published, whether it be a mainstream book or just someone who's into publishing from the beginning. Somebody that can help guide you when it comes to editing, to whether it's setting your pages up the right way. Because I would have had no clue, and it would have stopped at the beginning, at the first chapter, if I didn't have, like, Bradley to bounce all my ideals off of. And Joni, I know she got tired of hearing me talk about it some. She had to have. But, you know, just find somebody that you can bounce your ideals off that's sort of, you don't have to be on the same page all the time, but just have like-minded ideals of, as far as where you want your book to go, and even your characters with it. I mean, because it helped me so much as far as helping him grow, helping the book grow, and helping me grow as a writer.
So, because you did the air quotes, I'm gonna ask you this, and this one was not on the list, because I get different opinions for it. What is the difference between a writer and a published author, or just author?
That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm new to it too, so I would assume that if I'm writing like this book or writing my other books, I'm a writer. But if I'm an author, you know what? I guess if you're an author, you have a complete work done, whether it's published or not.
Not actually heard that answer before. Kind
You
of
know
like that one.
I mean, you can't really. I mean,
That's actually a really good answer.
where does it say you have to be published to be an author?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say that. You know, if you got a work that's completed for an author,
Huh.
may not be published, but
Okay. Yeah, I asked Dana that question when I did an interview with her last year, and she said that there's no such thing as a published author. It's author means you're published, and writer means you're
Just-
not. And I was like, well, I don't see a difference between the two, because no matter, because even if you are writing, you are still an author of the work that you're doing.
now, yeah.
But I agree with yours as well, because that actually makes a lot more sense. You're a writer because you're in the process of your first story, I guess, and
Yeah.
then once it's complete, then you are officially considered an author because it's work done.
Yeah, whether
Okay.
you keep it to yourself, keep it in your back pocket, or you share it with somebody.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's my viewpoint.
That actually makes a lot of sense. A lot better than my opinion. I know that. Because when Dana said that, if you're an author, you're published, so you don't actually have to put a published author on anything, I took off published on all my social media stuff.
Oh, really?
I did. I was like, well, I'm an author, so that means I'm published. But yeah.
See, I had never, getting this one out there, I'd never thought about even putting published author on anything.
Really?
No. I mean, it was out there, and I was like, oh, it's out there.
It's
so
out there.
Hopefully somebody will read it.
I mean, you have sold some copies, so.
Yeah, I think I bought them all though.
Well, I know when I did that arts festival, I know a bunch of them were interested in buying it, and I think they should. I mean, have you gotten any royalties offline?
I've got a few, but
So maybe they did actually buy from
yeah,
them.
I mean, it's hard. I don't get on there and look, tell you the truth.
I don't
I mean,
either.
I don't.
And like
It just-
if it pops up on my PayPal, I'm like, cool, somebody bought it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I was get a letter in the mail or an email saying you know you're a New York Times bestseller, I'd say, now I'm gonna look.
Yeah. All right, now I'm gonna see what I got going on.
Yeah.
Let's say $1,000 made in 1 week. Be like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I can add to that. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't look.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't either, because I just get disappointed.
and it's like I said, when it comes to, I try to do that stuff like that outside of just writing, whether I'm working with something at the schools or something. I don't look at it as far as what I can get out of it. It's easy to get in that concept or in that mindset, saying what can I get out of this? What can I get out of this? I mean, it's the environment. With this book right here. I think it's a clean book to read.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little blood and gore in it. Well, actually, a lot.
Yes, it does.
It does, but it's a really good blood and gore.
Yes, it's.
But
In terms of, say, you got novel erotica or softcore love story, if you want to place it was gore, it'd be softcore love story. It would not be erotica style gore.
No.
Or erotica type gore.
that's a whole different.
Yeah.
That's a whole different mindset right there. But no, I just try to keep a mindset of if I'm doing something, I want to make it in an environment where somebody can enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
and not necessarily what I can get out of it.
Yeah.
So, but I am a little older than Bradley, so I got an odd way of thinking.
Not the way I feel. I feel old as shit. Like I said before, going gray, going bald. I'm expanding.
Distinguished.
Distinguished. Yeah. Another way of saying you're 33 and you're old.
33. Gosh, you are a puppy.
I don't feel like a puppy. I feel like a dog needs to be put down. I'm a shelter animal.
Shelter. At least people come look at you.
Right, yeah. They decide they're
Like
going
on
to
this
adopt me.
podcast.
Yeah. Like, he's adorable, but I'm not taking him home.
He may buy.
Yeah, I do. Just saying, I do. And I am no stranger to peeing on the furniture.
Yeah. Joni broke me from that.
Mary has tried to break me from it. The rolled up newspapers never worked.
Of course, you get them bad habits living out in the middle of nowhere.
I mean,
on the front porch.
You daggone
It just
right.
carries.
Like it, because we got one bathroom in this house. We need 2, at least 3 maybe. But we got one. If somebody's in there, I'm in the middle of town. I'll still go outside.
Okay.
I don't care.
A whole different branch. There's 5 of us in our house.
Mm-hmm.
4 of them's girls.
Yep.
So you can use your imagination what happens there with the bathroom situation.
Yeah. See, at least when my kids are here, it's even numbered. It's 3 female, 3 male. Because I got 2 boys and 2 girls, and wife and me. So it's evenly matched. But when it's just me and the wife, I don't exist. It's all woman. All.
I've got my little drawer at the bottom. It's got my beard brush in it. Does that count? Yeah.
I bought a whole other thing of toothbrushes because you're supposed to change it, every 6 months? Or 3
I thought it
months?
was
Or
every
something?
6 years.
Oh, God. Well, I did follow that track pretty good.
When they, when the bristles get hard, you have to get them wet before it don't hurt.
That's when you need to change, yes. But I stuck all the toothbrushes in the toothbrush holder on the sink. Guess where they ended up? In the cupboard because I'm the one that bought them. And so I put mine in the shower. That's where I brush my teeth. Not to say that I don't brush my teeth when I don't take a shower, but
Here's one of them branches we got on.
Yes, there it goes. Alright, so we are actually at the last question, and that is, how would you actually describe your writing style?
Oh, I don't know. No.
That's it, thank you! No.
Oh, that's such a hard question. I really don't know. I mean, as far as the style I write in, it's a combination. I guess what you're meaning is like first person, third person. Is that?
Yeah, that's a concept, yeah.
Yeah. Mine bounces back and forth between that.
That's what I loved about it.
So, and I tried to have it from the view of Sebastian the entire time, which is really hard because I'd get caught up in the past tense of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be trying to push to further the story at the moment, and because I was in first person, then it bounced to third person.
Yeah.
You get caught up in that past tense and like this happened, and Bradley'd go, no, it's happening now.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh.
how do you make it happen now? By just your words.
Take away the ED.
that was, oh man, that was hard. Because it's like you saying, you get in a big way of writing.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it happen, but you still write it like I'm seeing it, but it's happened. You know, so you're writing it out. Then when you're reading it, you'll get this strange disconnect. You like the flow is so good. Then you get this ED.
Yeah.
Then you're like, what happened there?
Yeah.
I just got kicked out of the moment.
Yeah.
And that's where that's where the people who read over it for me, and Johnny read some of it, and Bradley, bless his heart. We went through it word for word and comma for comma.
Comma for comma.
And ED, now ED. But as far as my writing style, I don't really know. Because now that you asked me that, I'm backtracking on that little story I'm writing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the first person and third person view in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got the person that's in the action, and I guess you could say you got the voyeur, the one that's watching it go on, and it's really hard to not get intertwined and put them all at the same moment.
We'll call it the Allen style.
Yeah, and when you read Legion's Lucifer's contract,
Legion Lucifer.
Legion Lucifer's lock. You know, that lost down at the river at the elbow.
At the elbow, drinking moonshine and all that shit. Woohoo!
You know what was the protagonist's weapon? It was the absence of compass. So, I mean, it's as far as in all seriousness, I'm not really sure my writing style. I know what I like to write.
Yeah.
So far, this is just first one. And the one I've got almost done, it's in the same style, but not the same universe.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But that's a good question. It's a simple question, but it's hard to answer.
I guess I did not write that question down.
So
I'm gonna ask you anyways. So that was not the last question. This one will be. What is your favorite genre?
Oh, fiction. When I say that, it's, I want something that the average day person doesn't deal with. It's as simple as it is. You don't want to play a video game where you go to work every single day.
Sims.
Sims. That's a good one right there. I don't want to play Sims.
But in all fairness, Sims does have some creative.
It does,
So,
but
yeah.
no, I would say fiction. Whether it's what type of fiction, I'm geared more to like these supernatural stuff. Just because it is. I grew up. My mom and dad, believe it or not, my mom and dad used to scare the crap out of me growing. And we're getting on a whole new progression of this podcast.
Branch, pull it down real quick.
When I was growing up, I could be 5, 6 years old. I can remember. This gives away where I'm at, or my age. We used to go to Bartley's Video up here, and we'd rent VCRs.
I remember Bartley's.
Yeah, we'd rent VCRs, and they'd get Freddy Krueger, the very first Freddy Krueger, and Friday the 13th, and they was one, My Bloody Valentine.
The one with Jensen Ackles?
No,
Oh, that was a good one.
This is the old one.
The old, okay. Yeah.
And they sit there and they get a pizza. That's how they sucker me to stay there, because we, like I said, it was to the point we would shoot mice under the stove during the winter. So pizza was like
Yeah.
it's like going to, I don't know,
Miami.
But then they put that movie on, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to grandma's. I'd walk over to my grandma's, but I don't even know where I was going with that story. But no.
Please explain where your supernatural fetish come from.
It comes from that.
It comes from Freddy Krueger back with pizza and mice on the stove.
Yeah, you know, you had mentioned about Stephen King earlier.
Yeah.
One of the first movies I seen of his was Silver Bullet.
I never
Yeah,
have seen
it is a werewolf movie.
Yeah.
But if I had to break it down, that's what got me into it.
Yeah.
Because I could probably watch it. It's cheesy now because it got Corey. I think it's Corey Field, the one that passed.
Corey Feldman.
Maybe. Who played in.
Is that the one that died, or was it Corey Haynes?
What's the Lost Boys? They played in the Lost Boys.
There's 2 Corys.
I didn't say both. Did both of them play in the Lost Boys?
Yeah, both of them
Yeah.
did. So anyway, it had him in it when he was 16.
Okay.
And it's a really good basis for where I believe I've come to like this genre.
Yeah.
Because it had a little bit of heroic uncle.
Yeah.
And supernatural priest. I don't want to give too much. But you get the werewolf and the heroic part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still mostly human there. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never seen Silver Bullet. I've seen, of course, It and
If you remember that,
Dreamcatcher.
yeah. You remember Dreamcatcher? How it's sort of filmed the old style.
Yes.
That's the way Silver Bullet is.
Yeah.
So.
And what made me love the movie Dreamcatcher was Timothy Olyphant and Jason Lee.
Oh yeah.
Even
Dreamcatcher's a hard
though
one
they
to
both died.
Yeah. Dreamcatcher's a hard one to follow at first.
It really is. It's
Then it just-
freaking weird.
Then it just wraps it up.
Yeah. I mean, freaking random ass aliens that look like egg pods.
Yeah.
Just running through that snowy field, Morgan Freeman in that helicopter. I was like, what the hell? But you see Timothy Olyphant just doing that thing with his finger, finding shit, and I'm like, okay, it's Timothy, I got this. And then you see Jason Lee going nuts trying to capture that alien in the toilet, and I'm like, alright, that made it. I'm good. I can watch this.
Yeah. It just the connect about
Yeah.
like you said, doing the finger part.
Yeah.
And where they all had their gifts they got from.
Yeah. What irritated me though was the whole Scooby-Doo line. I know they tried to make it
Yeah.
like epic, but no.
No, it fails. It fell short.
It did.
It hurt
It
it.
really did.
So.
It's a whole nother discussion. Yeah.
But as you can tell, when we get together, our ideals or whatever we're talking about just goes. It's out the front
Yes.
door.
It's a family tree of ideas.
From pen on furniture
to
Silver Bullet.
Stephen King movies and novels, yes.
But
Well,
you man.
awesome. That is it for this episode of Creators Dementia. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. To the ones who actually either watch or listen, you know, it's on YouTube as well as on Spotify, and I'm pretty sure I'm still on Amazon Music and all that fun crap. I know Alan doesn't really have any social media, but where can they find the Broken Dagger Lucifer's Contract?
Amazon.
Amazon. Just type it in.
Just type it in.
Yes.
It's so good it'll pop up there.
It will. It's number one. They'll say, book has never been noticed until now because you just found it, and now it's number one.
Because your fan is the number one. You are.
You.
That makes
That.
yes, and that, and what he's been writing.
Number one.
See, if we make this in number one, it's before Bradley's books, the timeline. It's going to make them number one.
See? That's solid advice
It
from the author here. And not this author, that author.
See, I'm the author.
Ha!
See, I'm the sub-author. He's the creator of this universe, and I just filled in. But think about that.
Put it through that brain tube, because, you know, we need the sales. Yeah. Yeah. Even if we don't get the sales, it's still fun to do.
It is. As long as it, like I said, as long as it's in the world, Bradley may feel the same way. It's all matters.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. All jokes aside, it's fun to do.
Yes, it is.
And it's fun just to know that somebody, whether it's one person, 5 people, it don't matter to me. As long as it's out there and somebody enjoys it, and be able to experience the world that I can say we've because we created this one together.
Yes.
Just enjoy it for a moment. I mean, it's a short. Mine, Bradley's is like an encyclopedia. but it's a good encyclopedia.
It's a long ass encyclopedia.
His is full. His is full of a lot of good stuff. Just like he's talked mine up, I'll talk his up. His character creation is good. Mine has five main characters in it. 1, 2, maybe 5 if we're lucky, if we count the ugly things.
You're right. Yeah. I know there's like 3 absolute main characters.
Yeah, and like he said, at the end of the book, you get to experience one of his main creation, which is Reaper.
You actually mentioned the brother too.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elias.
So it's a shout out to them, and like I said, I talked to him about it before I done it, just to make sure we was on the same page and I was able to capture the way they would answer the way they did. But he's got an Avengers team on his. I mean, I give him kudos.
Kudos. I love kudos.
Kudos because that was a massive undertaking to take.
Yeah, I regretted it when I started, but I was proud when I finished it.
But yeah, I mean, make it number 1. It's a few years before his, as far as his book, not the universe, but his book. But you like this one, I guarantee you'll like his, Bradley's.
Maybe.
I won't guarantee I see.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a toss up. It got a 4-star review from a reviewer, so I mean that's a plus.
Yes.
She said that she was rooting for hell to win in the book.
Oh, nice.
I was like, I don't know how I feel about that.
That's a good review.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't say nothing bad, so that's a plus.
Very good.
But yes, that is it for this episode. Thank you all very much. Alan, I hope you enjoyed it. I really did.
That was a blast. Thank you for having me.
We will do this again. We may just talk about random crap next time because, I mean, we seem to do it anyways. So it's
it goes off sideways. You know.
do like kind of like what Tyler does on his Between Lewis and Lovecraft. Just have a chill episode.
Just chill.
Where we just talk about random crap.
Just
see where it goes.
Just what, as Peter said, what grinds my gears.
What grinds my gears is when people, those one people that, that really grinds my gears when them people, they just don't get to the point. That grinds my gears.
That's a good one.
See what I did?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. I didn't know whether you were struggling for that ideal or what. I was like,
I heard that on a Facebook Reels, and I just laughed my ass off for like 2 minutes.
You could probably see it in my eyes, but I was like, what's he going for?
Is he stuttering on purpose? I don't get it.
That's very good, though. Thanks for having me. It's been great.
So, don't forget, do have merch. I'm actually wearing the shirt today. Boom. It's on redbubble.com/people/Demented Creator. It says Demented Creator Out. Yeah. I gotta buy some more stuff.
Yeah. Very nice.
It's the only, I know 2 people that's bought merchandise. And I bought one. I'm fixing to get some stickers.
Sticker?
Yeah.
Do a sticker of the month.
Do a sticker of the month. Yes.
Talk Allie into making you one.
Allie, you may not watch this, but your dad will tell you about it anyways. Oh man, but yes, this was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. So don't know what's going to happen on the next episode, but it may happen, it may not. I don't know yet. It just depends on how the world turns, because apparently the end of times is coming, so we don't know. But thank you all very much. I've said it many times and I'll say it again. Thank you for the support. Alan, is there any last words you want to say to the... I've actually got listeners in Belgium.
I don't speak Belgian.
I don't either, but it's awesome. Maybe they know English, or they got the subtitle thing. I don't know.
Talk.
Do what?
Holler talk.
Holler talk, yeah.
Hurting ear when you come over yonder and you start watching this there video here, just watch the moonshine, and we'll see what slapstick humor with a fiddle and a violin we can get down on this creator's dementia that Bradley Mr. Bott's over here at the Riverside said. Well, we're sitting across from the barbecue right now. If you want some ribeye pork.
Gosh damn it! Get back in your damn cage!
Not today, Mama. Guys, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Peace out. It's been great.
Alright, so Demented Creator out. Slapstick barbecue.
Oh, wait, my ears are burning.
It sounded like you spoke another